Hey there. I want to talk to you briefly and go through some exercises for lumbar osteoarthritis. So, this one is going to be super general because typically, if you have arthritis in the lumbar spine, you may have additional issues that need to be addressed specifically. So, if you think that some general back pain exercise program is what is going to help you, that might not be true. You really need to focus on what your specific issues are. A lot of times people will contact me and say, "My back hurts. Can you send me an exercise program?" And I tell them I can't because of the fact that I don't know what's going on. And there could be a lot of different things affecting your back. And one exercise for your back, let's say it's a exercise where you take your body into a lot of an arch, can harm your back. So everything is different for every single person. What I'm going to tell you is that with lumbar spine issues, if you keep your spine neutral and you don't go too much into flexion or too much into extension, you're usually going to stay pretty safe. There was a study that was done that showed that stabilization, strengthening of the core muscles, the lumbar spine, the pelvic muscles is better for you than stretching. So a lot of people really want to stretch out their back because they think that's going to be the key, but really stabilization and the correct stabilization. So what I'm going to show you is a few general exercises that will benefit you no matter what. If there are specific things going on with you, you need to go see your physician, see a physical therapist, and get those specific issues addressed. This is for general lumbar, low back arthritis. Let's get started. Okay, I am going to be talking through this. So, first thing is going to be bringing your knee into your chest and holding that position. Now, whether you hold here or here kind of depends on what is good for your knee. You may have some knee osteoarthritis as well, and it might not feel good to do that. You can also have this leg straight if that's comfortable for you. I recommend the single knee to chest. Some people don't feel comfortable with bringing both their knees in at the same time. So this would be if I have lumbar low back arthritis, I would do this every single morning. On each side. Then I would go into bridging. Now, if you notice, my bridge starting off is not very high. So I'm engaging the glutes, but I'm not taking this into a strong bridge because sometimes when you're arthritic, the joints are not lubricated enough in order to do that. So you may have to work your way into that full bridge. As I go, I'm going to try to raise up just a little bit more. Now, if you basically have osteoarthritis of the spine, and no other significant issues, you can go into a lower trunk rotation. So I'm keeping my shoulders down, getting that side to side mobility. I'm also thinking about as I'm coming up, I'm not just letting my body go, I'm making my core work. So as I come down, I feel a little bit of a stretch here, and then I'm using my abdominal muscles to bring that back to center. So this is the one exercise that's not spine neutral. So if this bothers you significantly, skip this exercise. I'm going to do about 10 repetitions just to really get the spine loosened up. Then I'm going to go into, do this on this side first, a stretch. This is a piriformis stretch. Stretches the hip muscles that attach to the lumbar spine. Bring it down. Go to the other side. And if you can't reach underneath, you can use a towel or a sheet and put that underneath this leg to bring that closer to your chest. So you want to hold that for about 15 to 30 seconds. And then I'm going to do a abdominal isometric. I'm not going into a strong pelvic tilt, but it is a slight posterior tilt. So I put my hands on my hips. I don't know if you can see what's happening here as my hands kind of move a little bit. I'm contracting the abdominals. And the contraction, remember, you exhale on exertion. My assistant. So I'm going to do about 10 of these. Then I'm going to roll over and go into, and I have an instructional video on this, one of my favorite exercises, bird dog. So this position, you're going to lift a leg, the opposite arm, reaching with your fingertips and reaching through your toes. Spine is still neutral in this position. I am not arching. Alternate. Great stability exercise. Absolutely wonderful for so many different populations. So many different people can benefit from a bird dog. Works your abdominals. Works your back, works your glutes, the back of the legs. Great for your posture. Great for weight bearing through the shoulders. Great for balance. Great for pelvic health. It's just one of my favorites. And most people can do some form of a bird dog. If you have balance challenges with the bird dog, you can use one of the larger balls, the 45, 55 centimeter ball underneath your abdominals to help support. So I'm doing 10 of these, around 10. I'm terrible with counting when I'm also talking. Do one more on each side. And if you notice, I'm holding it for a couple seconds. I like to make sure that I'm really engaging all the muscles on this one. Okay, now I'm going to come down into a plank. A plank is a neutral exercise. I'm going to do an elbow plank. Now, your elbow plank can be in this position or this position. And the plank, if you haven't done one, they're a little bit more advanced. If you're just starting a program, exercise program for your low back, this may not be one that you add, which is why I'm putting it on the end of the lumbar exercises. I'm holding this for 30 seconds, roundabout. And come down. Now, that'll do it for the floor / bed, whatever you can do exercises. Let's go do some standing exercises. Okay, let's talk standing exercises for the lumbar spine. So some of the standing exercises that you can do is standing against the wall, bringing the feet out, making sure your shoulder blades are back and down, and we're going to go into a wall squat. So this is all dependent on how your body feels, how your knees are, what kind of condition you're in, as far as how low you're going to go. So I'm at about a 50, 60 degree angle. I'm breathing. My lumbar spine is against the wall. My quads, my glutes, my hamstrings are all engaged. My core is engaged. I'm going to come up. So how long you hold this is all dependent on how good you feel, how good a shape you're in. So I'm going to say let's hold this for about 5 seconds and come up, down, and come up. Using the wall to support, but you're still engaging your core muscles. Very important. Come up. Also, sit to stand. So, I don't have a chair behind me. Sit to stand is basically a squat with a support to catch you. So, depending on what you need, squats are such a good total body strengthener. Make sure that your knees don't go too far forward on this. I'm going to go into a side position. So just like you're sitting in the chair, or go ahead and get that chair and use that. Again, most populations can benefit from sit to stand or a squat. Squats can be an excellent core exercise in addition to the lower body. And if you think about it, it's also a spine neutral exercise. The other exercise that I'm going to show you, I have an instructional video on, and this is good for so many different populations as well. It is side walking with a band. So people don't think about how much your glutes help with your low back and your lumbar arthritis, but you want to incorporate the glutes and strengthen the glutes as much as possible to take the pressure off the spine. So think about this. If you're doing yard work, if you're pulling weeds, if you're carrying in groceries, if you're picking things up off the floor, if you're vacuuming, if you're carrying a child, grandchild, no matter what we're doing, if you're living life, you need to have strong core and pelvic muscles. So you use your glutes a lot. And one of the glute muscles that we don't strengthen enough is the gluteus medius, which is the muscle we're working right now. It's this outer part of the hip muscles. So the bridging gets the bridging and the squats get the larger gluteal muscle groups. The bird dog also does as well. This is getting the smaller glute muscles. This band is pretty tough. So how many would you do of these? I would say to average out 30 steps per side. If you have to build up to that, that is just fine. So that is kind of the basics of what I would do no matter what for a lumbar program for low back pain if you have osteoarthritis. Have a good day.